Okay, seems we're on. Hello, everybody, and welcome to live stream number 2. I just have to adjust the light real quick. Okay, there we go. That seems okay. All right, so hope all of you are doing well. Welcome, everybody, to this live stream. I hope you had a nice week, and hope everything is going well. A lot has happened since the last live stream. Obviously, the laundry's gone. Well, it's not gone. I've just ironed it and got rid of it. Well, I got rid of it. I just put it in the cupboards and everywhere it belongs. And as you can see in the back, in the kitchen, everything is closed because I finally have a new fridge. So means today I can even enjoy some cool drinks, which is absolutely necessary because hello, gaming or what? And today I can enjoy a cool drink, which is very necessary because it's incredibly hot. Hi, Bond Bulletin. Nice to see you here. We'll talk about you as well in this live stream because we're doing, well, I don't have to tell you that, but we've been doing a lot of stuff lately. But just as a quick introduction, I tried to limit the live stream this time because last time I went a little bit overboard. It was over 3 hours long. I think that's a little much to bear, a little bit too much to bear. And today I'm aiming for approximately 1 hour. But if if we're in the middle of a discussion or too many questions should still be open, probably going to extend a bit. But like I said, I'm aiming for 1 hour. And I see Martin. Hello, Martin, if you're watching, has already posted some questions. Is anyone else here wondering how the sniper rifle is going to look in GoldenEye 25? Oh, by the way, as you can see, I'm wearing the custom-made GoldenEye 25 polo shirt. Really love this one. Looks really great. This is stitched, so it won't wear off when you're washing it too many times. Okay, just repeating the question. Is anyone else wondering how the sniper rifle is going to look in GoldenEye 25? No, I have no idea because I have not seen it yet. I don't think Ben has modeled it yet. The original design always left me confused about what that thing is supposed to be. It was a semi-automatic, so I thought it either could be an SVD or what the real-life counterpart is, or a WA-2000. No, I think the WA-2000, if I remember it correctly, looks more like a little bit squarish. I think probably it's even some old sniper rifle. I don't know what the original counterpart would have been. But since it's being used by Russian guards, it must be the SVD. Well, maybe it is. Yes, it could be. Or we could change it to that. Would make sense if you're walking around at Russian levels. Yes, it would absolutely make sense. And sometimes, we change things. For example, I'm not sure if I can give this away, but I'm going to do it anyway. When you look at the original design of the KF7, the AK-47 in the game, it's based on the KF or the AK-47, and of course, in most of the scenes in the movie GoldenEye, Pierce Brosnan uses a short version, the AK-SU-74, I think it's called, and I think at least in some levels we'll base it on that design much more than the original famous AK-47 design, just because he uses it more in the movie. Okay. In a cancelled GXBLA remake, it was a bolt action rifle which fights semi-auto, so it seriously gave 0 damn sense. Yeah, well, creative freedom, right? The design simply always kept me confused about what the hell is a weapon was supposed to represent. Yes, I think there was a lot of creative freedom involved in the design of that gun. It looked rather strange, yes, but then again, many of the weapons did. I think also the RCP-90, from the perspective of the player, it didn't really look like the original counterpart. Also the AR-33 and then those weapons, sometimes they seemed pretty different to the original counterparts. But of course, then again, you had to work with very limited space and very limited programming software. So yes. Martin, yeah, KF7, a pencil left unsharpened since 1995. Yeah, well, so as always, if you'd like to join in, if you'd like to ask some questions or throw in your 5 cents, so to speak, just feel free to do so. There should be a dialogue and not just me rambling on for 1 hour. You know, it's you know, I'd rather like to engage in conversation just as opposed to just referring and just instead of just talking around. But since there's not much going on right now, oh yes, Martin, I know what you mean. The original KF7 model looks a bit like a pencil. Yes, exactly. Looks a little bit weird too. Yes, and it sounded like a pencil too. That's why I decided to go with a really fat movie sound, which was actually based off an M60, so really big machine gun. Yeah, so I'm just going to talk about a few things I'd like to mention. I just introduced the Bond Bulletin, who is, I don't know if he's still watching, but was definitely said hello. And yeah, hello all, any love for the club. Hello Bond 8789. Yeah, well, the club is a weak ass weapon, but it's, you know, the Colt status. It's I think it's the most for being, if you know, even if it's the weakest weapon in the game, but it has the biggest, you know, sort of the biggest sort of Colt status among all of the weapons in GoldenEye 64. So I'd like to get was just talking about the Bond Bulletin, which is briefly introduced. Is my very good friend Benjamin Lind from Brunswick in Germany, who I will visit the first week of August. And you know, we collaborate quite often. Yesterday, he's just released a new episode of the Swiss Connection, which is a show where we talk together. We talk about things, you know, mainly Bond and Bond-related things. In the second episode yesterday, we've analyzed the footage by David Williams. I hope I remember the name correctly. By David Williams, you know, who provided all the footage from the World's Not Enough boat chase. He was one of the spectators back then and recorded it with his camera. And we've talked about that and many other things too, like the Bond theme, like David Arnold, our appreciation for the music, and so on. So I can definitely recommend you go check that out on the Bond Bulletin. You can find it on YouTube and Facebook. And then we also did a couple of tributes lately, because this is a big Bond year when it comes to anniversaries. We had On Her Majesty's Secret Service. We have Moonraker, where we made a tribute video, which you can find also on the Bond Bulletin YouTube page. And then we also made a The World's Not Enough tribute video, which is a lot of fun to do, to score. And he did a great job. He did a great job putting it together, you know. And then I think it's also License to Kill, 4 movies if I recall correctly. On Her Majesty's, Twine, Moonraker, and yeah, License to Kill, I think it was. Exactly. But turning off now. Got a perfectly fine gin and tonic to finish here. You know, what are you turning off then for? You made it 9 minutes. Bravo. Congratulations. Have a good one. I like the original sound for the AK-47 in GoldenEye. Well, okay, if you like it, you know, it's okay, of course. Like I said many times before, and I don't engage in conversations that are about taste, about matters of taste. If you like something, that's perfectly fine. I don't like the original AK-47 sounded game at all. I once said in one of the videos that hello Ben. I said in one video that it was one of the first things I've noticed when I played the original game when I was still a little child, that was one of the sounds that really bothered me, because I had the sound from the movie in my head, and that was so incredibly, to a certain degree, overproduced and fat and all that. but I just prefer that over that sort of weakish sound in the game. Just sub to the Bond Bulletin. Very nice. License to Kill will have a tribute made for an event with John Glenn later this year. Oh, thank you very much for giving away this exclusive here on this live chat. Martin writes, a License to Kill had such a good soundtrack. It was unique. It was Die Hardish, simply came. Yes, absolutely. I love it very much. Especially, I think the track is called License Revoked. I think it's the first one from the soundtrack, where he does his sort of, like you said, like this Die Hard infused action stuff, and then he just weaves in the Bond theme every now and then with acoustic guitars and sort of with the drum set and everything. He has a very special. You can instantly tell it's Michael Kamen, and it's again one of those creative people who just had to go way too early. I think he didn't even reach 50 because he died many years ago, which was a real shame. Yeah, I really love that soundtrack too. Yes, Bond 8789, much appreciated. Yes. Bond Bulletin, great channel. Definitely go check it out. There are a lot of videos up there, a lot of quality content. I really highly recommend it. And yeah, so like I said, we have those 4 anniversaries, and we've covered basically all of them. Well, except License to Kill, which will follow later this year. But you can also find on YouTube channel. You can find a video we did together. Which was it was not for License to Kill, but it was for John Glenn. It was a tribute video that was being presented when he was given the James Bond Award in Germany, and that was a lot of fun. Sitting in the cinema with John Glenn behind us, and watch the thing come on the big screen. With the video that Benjamin, the Bond Bulletin, put together. And music I was fortunate to do, being played over the big cinema speakers and so on. That was really fantastic. One of those out of the world experiences, Yeah, so The World's Not Enough was one thing that we did as well. The tribute trailer, that was a lot of fun. Talked about that. And Moonraker as well. Moonraker, actually you can hear a track on that tribute trailer. That is sort of a cover of the original score by John Barry, the gondola chase, which that's one of those cues from John Barry that I love, and I'm so disappointed this was never released, because that's one of the finest tracks by John Barry using the Bond theme. The whole arrangement is just so fantastic, and it's just never been released properly, and that's something I find that a real pity. You can't listen to the proper version anywhere, and so I sort of did my take on that. It's basically a straight cover from that. It's really played after the original notes, and the problem is I could never release it, because if you want to release these things, you have to name the source material, and since this was never officially registered, that track, I don't even know what the track is called in that scene. Suppose it's Gondola Chase, but that's probably not the track title. And in order for it to be licensed, you'd have to know the exact track title. And since that has never been released, there's no way you can there's no way you can license it. And so I can't really put it out there. One way would be simply to license it as a James Bond themed cover, but then again, it's too close to an original composition by John Barry for it to constitute as just a cover of the James Bond theme. I don't know if that would work. Maybe worth a try, but I just made that once. I just basically left it on the side. It was never used anywhere. Of course, now we used it in the Moonraker tribute trailer, which is. Which turned out really, it's a cool one. It's a really cool one. And Moonraker in general is just a Bond movie I really enjoy very, very much. Of course, there's a lot of Bond fans who say that after they go into space had started to get sort of too outlandish, too wild, too extreme, too fantasy like. I agree with that to a certain extent, but it doesn't really bother me. I can still enjoy those scenes in space. Of course, the effects they've aged really badly, but still, I find the movie, especially the first half, very very enjoyable. Yeah, but I think I've talked about that in great length in the last video already, so I'm not going to go into detail with that. And also something that I've experienced with Benjamin was last year, I think it was, when we for that film festival, when we hi Tyler Stevenson, hello. Oh, Martin, you're bringing up Apollo 11. Yes, exactly. Going to talk about that right in a bit, because I've got something planned for that as well. But let me just finish on Moonraker. So last year, Corinne Cléry, which is the helicopter pilot. Yes, the bomb producers needed to make use of the Star Wars hype, exactly, as it was mentioned many times. But I'm one of the Bond 8789. I'm one of those fans that doesn't really like Moonraker, though the pre-titles is impressive. Bond Wars, Moonraker Strikes Back. Yes. Anyway, last year we had the pleasure to accompany Corinne Cléry, who is a French actress, French-Italian actress, because she was given the Bond Award last year, and we spent a few days with her. Basically, entertaining her leading up to the award and everything, and that was a great time. We really had a great time with her. She's a really fantastic person. She was the helicopter pilot. In case I've not made that clearly, that she was really great. She was very upbeat, and a cool person to hang around with overall. And it's just as a Bond fan, those are just experiences that just can't replace them really. So yeah, if you've got some questions about it, or if there's some details you want to know about her or anything about that, just feel free and ask. Love Moonraker, Tyler. Yes, me too. I just think there's so many right things in there. The music is fantastic. Roger Moore does a great job in that movie. And Tyler, you prefer Moonraker over Star Wars, if I get that right. Well, I don't know if I would go that far, because I really love Star Wars as well, especially the old ones. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, well, just the mixture's right. The locations, Venice looks great. With the Italian locations. The music works fantastically. The suspense, the stunts, of course, at the beginning. Yeah, I think it's a great mixture. Jaws, of course, and I just like the baddie very much. I'm always confused about the pronunciation. If you would read it in English, it would be called Michael Lonsdale, but I think it's pronounced French. Michael Lonsdale, I think. Well, anyway. Martin says, I actually like both, but I miss Lucas era before Dark Times before. Yes, exactly. That's something, but you know what? I suspected that from the very start, because when the day I've read that Disney is going to take over the Star Wars franchise, I was sort of I had sort of a foreboding feeling, because Disney, of course, has done many great things in the past, but then again, nowadays it is a really big company. And Lucas is just a creative. Of course, there's a lot of debates if he's really good director, but at least I think he was clever enough to at least know that and let other people direct, like what was his name? Irv Kirshner? Was it Irv? And I think so too. I love the original ones, of course, the original trilogy. I even love the prequels, because they still somehow had that Lucas touch. And then after everything that came after George Lucas has passed the reins over to Disney, I've watched a few of those Star Wars films in the cinema, but not all of them, because they just they just lost me after one or two failed attempts to draw me in. Lol, yes, Martin. Maybe prequel wasn't so bad after all. Yeah, that's at least one thing that George Lucas could get some solace out of the fact that now people, because of what Disney has done, people even start to appreciate the prequels, and that's quite something to say. Because I can remember, actually, the first Star Wars film that I saw in the cinema was the Phantom Menace, and that had a huge impact on me. I really loved that movie, and it was only a few years later where that sort of hate towards the prequels started to develop. Which I still cannot understand, especially episode one. I think it's a really, really good movie. Yes, you could change many things around, and yes, things could be better, but still, that's another movie I watch 2 to 3 times each and every year because I love it so much. Nosdal was born in Paris but raised in Ireland. You can safely say his name the English way. Oh, okay. Thanks to Bomb Bulletin. Michael Lonsdale. Okay. That's why it's hard to place his accent. Yes, exactly. Tyler, I really enjoyed Phantom Menace. Yeah, me too. Absolutely. I think they had great, and there's still every character and the spaceships, the sound design and everything. It's still everything felt like Star Wars. It still gave me that Star Wars feeling, which Disney films just failed to do. It's exactly the same. But I'm not going to go into this again because I feel like the last couple of videos I did or participated in, I've always been going on about how Bond ended for me after Die Another Day, and I think probably most of you have heard that now, and let's not go overboard with this. Master Destroyers, yes, exactly. Yes, some great quotes from the Phantom Menace as well. And since we're already in space, so to speak, you've mentioned Apollo 11 before. Of course, it was in July 1969, where the NASA, well, for the purpose of this video, let's just say they landed on the moon. I'm no conspiracy theorist, but well, there's enough people who still claim that NASA fake moon landing. I don't know. But it's something to me. It's even if it was faked, it's something that captures our imagination. It's like Bond, and even if it should turn out to be fake, it's still enough to capture the imagination. And for me, Stanley Kubrick landed the man on the moon. Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what I saw coming. I will feel bad about knocking Die Another Day after what might happen with Bomb 25. Yeah, we'll see how that one turns out. Hello, Osmond. Osmond, right? Yeah, so coming back to Apollo 11. So 50 years ago, they landed. It was mid-July. And at the radio station where I work, I've prepared a special show. So we're going to do a special feature thing where sort of people can relive the whole thing like it was 50 years ago. So the idea is that if 50 years ago Twitter and the radio had existed, well, our radio station here had existed, how would people have witnessed the moon landing? So we're going to do tweets, in real time when the things happened, and then we're going to do like broadcasts where we talk about what's just going on, so people really can feel like 50 years ago, like in the summer of '69. Well, that's another song. And they can relive the whole thing, which is something I'm looking forward to very much. And in the wake of that whole project, which I sort of handle, I really felt inspired to do sort of a tribute album for the moon landing, 50 years of moon landing, and that's basically was an idea that was conceived one night when I just said, well, could be a cool concept, working with a little bit of orchestra, and then as you go into space where it gets more into the unknown areas, use synthesizers and stuff like that, do a little bit of experimental sounds, maybe profit a little bit from those very weird sounds that I come to discover when I did GoldenEye 25, sort of that Eric Serra thing where you have those really weird distorted sounds, which works perfectly for a space score. So that was a project I just wanted to do. And incidentally, just last night I did the last finishing touches. A good friend of mine, a musician friend, is going to play some fretless bass over it, especially in the parts where when space, because I just think the sound of fretless bass and space music just goes together somehow. And it's really, you can really, the music should sort of lead you through the whole process of the moon landing, Saturn V taking off, and then, the LEM being ejected from the shuttle, landing on the moon, and then there was that story when they sort of approached the moon surface, where the computers just spit out thousands of alarms and weird things, and Neil Armstrong had to manually land the LEM and so on. So that's all going to be addressed in the music. It's about 30 minutes, and it's going to be released in about 2 weeks. My goal is July 16th, because then that's when actually the Saturn V launched into space. Okay, now catching up. So just that you aware of that, that's coming. The Apollo 11 tribute album. Like I said, it's an orchestral score with a bit of synthesizer mixed in, and I think it's turned out quite neatly. Okay, just catching up with the comments. Die Another Day doesn't really deserve the hate. There's a lot of dislike, but a lot to like as well. Yes, exactly. I agree. Yeah, that's I don't get the hate as well. And the two things you always hear is the CGI scenes and the invisible car. People always go on about that, how bad that is, and I still can understand. And I've talked about this as well. I'm not going to go into the details again, but those are scenes that are just worth seconds. So what? Of course it's over the top and everything, but I don't really mind it. Die Another Day has some really good moments. Yes, I agree. It does, doesn't it? Yes. We're going to the moon. Oh, hello, Fossum. Hello, everybody. Well, you're a bit late. No, don't worry. You're never too late. Martin, we're just in the middle of the conversation about Die Another Day. Die Another Day, Martin writes, Die Another Day was a bit wacky. It was borderline crazy, but it was a Bond movie. It had a great soundtrack. Yes, I agree. Classic Bond humor and action, but took them all to a higher level, to a level higher. It put them on steroids. Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I agree. That's exactly. Yeah, of course, at times it's over the top, but then again, I prefer a little bit more over the top, as opposed to all this. Well, family history and drama, and I'm much rather prefer an invisible car over drama. No, anyway, invisible cars fine. Tyler writes. Yeah, that's okay. Bond Bulletin. The new Apollo 11 documentary film is fantastic. Give that a watch. Very well put together from never before seen footage. Yes, I read about that somewhere, and I've looked for it online, but I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it until now. Maybe if you have a link or something, I would be very appreciated, because I find that very fascinating. I read some good reviews about it, and well, you have a good taste in movies, so I trust you. The Bomb Bulletin. Benjamin was the man who got me to watch the Chernobyl documentary, which was, if you haven't seen it, that HBO Sky thing. If you have not seen that, go and watch it. It's absolutely amazing. I wrote a little review on Twitter. Well, review. It's just my opinion, but it's no bullshit. Straight to the core. Very grim, very dark. Fantastic score. Again, like a score should be. Very much in the background. Sometimes it shines through a little bit, but it's not. I hate when film composers feel like they have to be the stars. So it's a very dark and pulsating and intense soundtrack by its minimalistic way of being. Bob Bulletin, like Roger Moore said, you want 2 hours of straight fun and entertainment. That's what we've got with Die Another Day. Absolutely. I agree. That's exactly what we pay for and exactly what we want. Bond 8789, always loved the way he used the gadgets of the car when he killed Zao. So Bond. Yeah. Yes, exactly. And even all, the spikes in the tires and everything. And the scene where he throws the manual up in the air and then the machine guns come out. It's just I don't know what people don't like about that stuff. Martin writes, Moore had a great Bond movies, but personally I found A View to Kill and Live and Let Die slightly weaker, but the rest was fantastic to me. That's something I cannot understand too. There's a lot of people who say that they don't like Live and Let Die that much. Why is that? Can you explain to me? Because that's again, it's a fantastic movie. I think it's a fantastic movie. Great score by George Martin. Yeah, what else? That's it. Just great score by George Martin. No, that's not all. No, and Roger Moore does a fantastic performance. And then of course, Mr. Big, Kananga, and Baron Samedi. I find it a really great movie, and all the the New Orleans setting, Sergeant Pepper, of course. Yeah, but maybe you could explain why you don't like it that much. Chernobyl, straight to the core, typical Yannick quote in itself. Yeah, well, that happens when you speak before you think. That's my strong suit. Bond 8789. I prefer the more down to earth Bond films. My problems with the Craig era, it just doesn't feel like Bond. Yeah, exactly. Martin says, but I gotta admit, A View to Kill had one of the best Bond soundtracks, in my honest. Well, yeah, it was good. It was good. The title song, especially. Yeah, A View to Kill. That one I have a particular problem with because Roger Moore seems really, really old in that one. That's the thing that kills that movie a bit for me, because you can see that he's having sort of a not a hard time, but a harder time to move around and move quickly and all that stuff. And that's sort of, I don't know. It's and the Bond girl, what was it? Oh my God, I just have difficulty with it. Was it Tanya Roberts? Tanya Roberts. Yes, exactly. Tanya Roberts. She's just. Yeah, and the pre-credit sequence was great. Tyler seems to, well, Live and Let Die. I never hear anyone place that one low. Really, Tyler? I hear a lot of people say when they talk about the Moore era, they say, well, that's not of my favorite. But I think the worst ranked in general of the Moore era is The Man with the Golden Gun, which again I love very much as well. The Manuel funny scene, yes. The whole blaxploitation theme of Live and Let Die was in the way of good story, in my opinion. It was overused to the max that made the film fall out of the favor for many, with many. Ah, okay. So it was more about blaxploitation than a good story. Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable explanation. Yes. What? Martin writes 3.6 Röntgen, not bad, not terrible. What? We're talking about Chernobyl now? View to Kill is one of the best scores. I feel the same. Craig is good, but not my Bond. Yeah, neither mine. Tanya Roberts was awful in A View to Kill, Bond Bulletin. Yes, I agree. That's also one of the turnoffs of that movie. which is that constant screaming, and on that she would have deserved. One thing I've never talked about was the German versions of the Bond movies. Even the older ones, especially the older ones, they have a few very great translations. And there's that one scene in the movie. Which was it? Was it Thunderball? Where where the whole thing happens, where they have with a cassette recorder, and Bond. I don't even remember what he calls her. On the ship when she switches the cassettes from Blofeld, and then she talks to him about her having switched the cassettes, and he said, "Well, you laid in back the wrong cassette again." And I don't know what he says then, but in German he says "Du Dominus." It's like "you stupid nut" would be the exact translation, and that's something that always comes to my mind when I think about Tanya Roberts. Tyler Stevenson. I usually hear people knock The Man with the Golden Gun, Moonraker, and View to Kill. Yes, so basically every movie with Roger Moore. Yes, but the Man with the Golden Gun gets a lot of hate. Again, something I cannot understand. I love the concept of the Golden Gun. Knick Knack is just funny as hell. Oh my goodness. Christopher Lee is great. Is a great enemy. He's the perfect villain for a Bond movie, I think. The score has a lot of highlights. Sergeant Pepper's in there for a laugh again. The locations look very interesting. Yeah, so of course the story is sort of but then again, it's just an entertaining movie. Who do you think, Osmond writes, who do you think own the license to Eric's music now? Eric Serra, I think you're speaking about. GoldenEye, right? I don't really know. Eon, Eric, or the distributor back then. I don't know. I'm not really sure about it. Would you give us all Actors era worst films if you must choose one from each? Okay, so you mean the ones I think who are the worst from the era? Okay, I think that's what you mean. Okay, that's an interesting one. So Sean Connery, the worst Bond movie. The worst Sean Connery movie. I would say Dr. No, probably, if I have to choose one, because Dr. No is just really, that one is too retro for me. It's too old school for me a little bit. Also, it doesn't really have a score. It's really slow. It has a slow pace. I think I will probably choose that one. The worst movie from George Lazenby. Well, yeah, well, it's an easy one. The worst from Roger Moore, I would say View to Kill, just because of the before mentioned points that I said. Yeah, because he was really getting old, and Tanya Roberts and all that stuff. So I think, yeah, View to Kill would be my least favorite. Again, that's a really hard pick to do, but yeah, I think of View to Kill. Dalton, well, that's just two to choose. I love License to Kill, so the other one would have to go. Brosnan, now that's really mean. The worst Brosnan, I wouldn't say the worst, but the one I rewatch the least is Die Another Day. It's still a fantastic movie for me, but that would be the worst. And Daniel Craig, I don't even go into because, well, you can imagine. The Bond Bulletin, that was DAF. Oh my goodness! Now it's really getting embarrassing. DAF. What is that again? Oh, please help me. DAF. Oh my God. I'm really Oh, Diamonds Are Forever. Yes, thank you. Oh God, that is embarrassing. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, what a Bond fan we have. What we got ourselves a nice Bond fan here. Um, I know a regular. We got ourselves a regular Bond fan here. Okay. Sorry. Diamonds is my guilty pleasure. Love that movie. Gets a lot of hate. I think it's more looked over as opposed to hate. But yeah. Uh, I just what do you think? Licenses to Eric's music. Asking because I'd like to use in the facility Unreal Engine cinematic. Eric's music. Well, you're not doing any. You're not making any money off of it. And look at how many videos the GoldenEye version that stuff is used. So, just go for it. Ha, that's why I popped the question. Oh yeah. On the subject of George, has anyone seen his cameo in The Return of the Man from U.N.C.L.E.? Oh, with the Aston Martin, I think it was, right? I saw that scene once, but that's a long time ago. And usually, when I see George, my reflexes just drive me to turn off whatever it is that it's being played on. For me, Twine is my least favorite Tyler. Okay. How so? Why is that? Skyfall is my least favorite Daniel. Yeah. Diamonds Are Forever, brilliant German dubbing using a large arsenal of our German swear words. Yes, it's great. The Bomb Bulletin, great how literally everyone knows it straight away. Yes, everyone except me. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, we are great friends. Have I mentioned that we are great friends? Yeah. Well, like a brain freeze. Yeah, exactly. It was. Yeah, I could blame it on the drink because now finally I have a fridge again that is working. The drink is so cool that I got brain freeze. Just too bad that I didn't drink for about 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah. And literally because it's so hot here right now, it's lukewarm again. Great. Well, anyway. Well, don't get us started on Lazenby, the Bomb Bulletin says. No, minefield. George Lazenby in my world, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, and Benjamin, the Bomb Bulletin's world does not exist. And if you're dying to know why that is, you can hear some hints in the first live stream I did. Praise the cold drinks. God bless the fridge. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. That's something you only start to appreciate once it's not working. I'm looking at you, Benjamin, right? When we're talking about fridges. Jeff Fridges. Oh God, that happens to me every now and then. I just make myself laugh out of the silliest things, Oh my goodness. Yes, the Bomb Bulletin. Wherever Lazenby goes, fans get treated really badly. Last example, Switzerland, a couple of weeks ago. Yes, his usual response is "fuck off." Yeah, exactly. Heard that stories many times from different people all the time, and yeah, and that's only one of the things how he treats people real badly and poorly by telling them to fuck off. That's one of the things that he does. And there are a lot of stories about VIPs and famous people out there on the internet that turn out not to be true. But in Lazenby's case, I've witnessed it myself standing next to him, how he treats someone who politely asked him to do a favor for a good cause, and he basically said the same thing. And that is something that really makes me mad still today. So he's better off not ever coming close to me. Osmond writes, also, did you know that facility was a set and not an actual location? Yes, well, it could have been, could have been toilet somewhere, but yeah, because in one scene in GoldenEye, you can see actually how the walls are made out of sort of a rubber. It's just after they get out of the shaft, and Pierce falls right back on the wall, waiting for Alec to come out. And as he hits the wall in the background, you can see how it sort of bends under the pressure. And so, yeah, it's very clearly a set. It's going to be 37 degrees here tomorrow. If Daniel Craig was an air conditioning unit, it would be a hell of a cold here. Yeah, 37 degrees. Yeah, that's what we had the last couple of days here. It's just an agony. I hate that. Everything above 30 degrees Celsius is just excruciating to me. Especially, at nights when you're laying in your bed and you can't really cool down, and then you're sweaty. I just hate that. Yeah, Sultans of Swing. Yeah, what a coincidence. Just when we're talking about George Lazenby, you join in. Uh-huh. Yeah. Bond 8789 writes the Bond bulletin. Wow, really? Shame. I do like George as Bond. Well, then you're better off never meeting him, because then that's right. I never particularly liked On Her Majesty's Secret Service as a film, but especially after having experienced what I've experienced up there, I can't watch it anymore. A lot of people don't mind that. They can separate the person from the movie, but I can't. Yeah, Lazenby forever, right? Bond Bulletin, it was appalling. While I avoided him at any cost, I could not avoid the stories of other fans told me after just having met him. They didn't even want his autograph anymore. Yeah, that's referring to what happened at the On Her Majesty's Secret Service anniversary on Shilton and in Portugal. Yeah, a lot of stories I heard there too. And so I was glad I didn't attend to any of those events, because that's not the sort of thing I support. Osmond, what do you have? Sun? We have rain and cloudy shite weather here in Norway. No, it's sunny all the time. Today it's the first day in about a week where we had a few clouds, but still 37 degrees Celsius. So yeah, that's not really my thing. Actually, come to think of it, I would much prefer the weather in London, or perhaps even Norway, if it's not that hot. Fossen, I really love that scene with Mr. Timothy Dalton, License to Kill, when he tells Robert Brown, after the murder of Felix's wife, Felix heard, etc., then you have my resignation, sir. Yes. Yeah, good scenes. Like, Timothy Dalton could pull it off. And, he could pull off these things without appearing like a wimp. Agreed. Lazenby had a good presence and performance on screen, but as a human being, he's just rude and unlikable. Never meet your idols, is what they say. Yeah, well, never meet your idols. I mean, yeah, well, I've met a few of them. Most were quite pleasant to meet. But yeah, well, sometimes, and that's also, Pierce Brosnan always seems very nice in interviews and so on, and he seems like a really cool guy. But I love his movies so much. Not only Bond in general. I think I would not want to meet him. I'm sure if you meet him, of course you don't walk up to him when he's enjoying his private life, and just bother him. But even if it's some sort of a fan account or something, or if it could be arranged, even then I don't know. Yeah, they're really, because Pierce Brosnan is one of my top stars. He's really up there, and I think I would be a little hesitant. Favorite weapon from the original game? AJ Fatal asks. By the way, hello AJ. I don't think I've said hello yet. Favorite from the original game? I think you're talking about GoldenEye, right? The favorite I think would be the DD44, just simply because of the sound it made. Just love that sound. I'm from Norway too, and here it's too hot. Did you write? You have 37 degrees Celsius as well, right? No, that's just too much. Lazenby was quite a jerk during the filming of Honor Majesties, from what I heard. Yes. Well, he was fired right on the spot. Yes, exactly. And I would be inclined to say rightly so. He even risked by skiing without an insurance. Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah. And I think he once even told the story when I think it Harry Saltzman or Kavi Broccoli when he was in the gondola going to the Piz Gloria. He saw him skiing on the slopes, and he sort of, I think he wasn't too amused by that because, like, yeah, he could have had a little accident, break his leg or whatever, and then you'd have to postpone the whole shooting and everything. So that's quite selfish, but well, that's how we know him. Never heard anything bad about Roger. No, really not. Right when Broccoli was in the gondola, right above him. Yes, exactly. I met Richard Keel. He's super nice. Yeah, I heard so too. Yes, exactly. And he always did his. You could tell by looking at the pictures with him with fans where he always did his thing, and so yeah, I can imagine he's a cool guy. Um, well, most of the Bond people, Benjamin and I met, they turned out to be really cool. So we talked about Guts Otto last time, Stamper from Tomorrow Never Dies. Corinne Clary from Moonraker was very nice. Beatrice Libert from Moonraker was very nice. John Glenn was fantastic. So most people are really nice. What was his name? The stunt coordinator, not Simon Crane, not Gary Powell. Um, See, I fuck up names so terribly. His wife is named Wendy Leach. What is his name? Oh my goodness! I literally meant everybody except him. Oh my goodness! Bomb Bulletin, could you please step in? I'm just having one of those moments again. Oh my God! What was his name? I really have to Google that now. Vic Armstrong. Yes, exactly. Oh boy, yeah. Pierce who? Yeah, thank you, Sultans. Oh my goodness. I still have to tell you the stories about Lazenby. I promise you that. Pierced Brosnan. Don't ask. I don't know who pierced him. What do you think of the Thomas Crown Affair? Oh, it's not my favorite Brosnan movie, but it's a very good one. It's very entertaining. Him in the suit and everything. That's always works for me. Bomb Bulletin, Lazenby shot at the church with a gun used for filming. Broccoli told him the next morning that his contract is dissolved after filming completed. Yes, that's what I heard too. Osmond, why so long until GoldenEye 25? I played only for your score. Well, you know what? It's hard. I'm sure it's hard to believe when I say that, but I'm really struggling too because I would love to play it too. I mean, I get the demo versions, but of course they're still very restricted. It's also why it wouldn't make much sense to release demos and stuff like that now because we're still in early stage, and Ben is constantly working and he's doing great progress. But we, as of now, there's not really much to experience. So we rather wait 1 or 2 years before we let you access it because otherwise it doesn't make sense. And if you're looking for the score, or if you're looking forward to the score, most of the score is not even implemented in the game itself yet. Of course, it's programmed in the music software, but it's not implemented and it's not assigned to game actions and to things that happen in the game. So right now, it would just be too early. Really have to wait. It's really hard, but yeah. But come on, years pass by. JBXYZ, looking forward to the game. Love what you are doing with the score. Thank you very much. Try my best. And you know, it gets even harder because now we sort of enter this phase where, for me at least, music production related, it gets, you know, I'm sort of on the last mile, so to speak, because there's only 5 levels left for me to score. I've done 15 now, and I did the elevator tracks, the watch track, the menu track. So many of the things are done. It's 5 levels that are left, and a few tidbits here and there. And yeah, so I'm pretty confident by the end of the year, it will be a wrap music-wise. Of course, you know, still, like, when we implement it, things could turn out to uh, to be improved, to make better, and so we still have a bit of time left for me to adjust things and maybe do some things over again if it doesn't work. I knew he could be a bit of a jerk, referring to George Lazenby, of course, taking a gun onto set and throwing bottles up in the air to shoot them. Yeah. By the way, congrats on the new fridge. Yeah, thank you. It's not really my achievement, but thank you anyway. I'm looking forward to Cradle the most from the entire score. I love the tempo of the original music, and I would love to hear your twist on it. Yeah, Cradle is one of those levels that I have not done yet. I have done a demo once, which sounds very sort of. It almost sounds a little bit like Air Force One soundtrack. It's very sort of Americanized heroic music. So you know, in the moment it made perfect sense and it sounded good to me. But now if I go back and listen to it again, it's completely off. You know, not the track itself is not bad itself as the track, but it just doesn't really fit Cradle. But I think we'll have to do something rhythmically or something in the vein of the original score by Eric Serra. You know, this run, shoot, and jump thing. No. Martin writes, and it was a bit disappointing hearing the track reuse in the movie. Oh, because yeah, it was used. Yeah, exactly. Osmond, 15 tracks. How do you avoid creativity blocking? Well, I have to say, in case of GoldenEye 25, it did not always go down that smoothly. I mean, especially with one of the last tracks I did. I think it was Caverns. Took me quite a long time to get an idea. I think it really took me 2 or 3 weeks to figure out a basic idea. Because I did which one did I did before Caverns? I just quickly have to check out which one I did before Caverns. That went really, really well. And then Caverns was the first one now in the whole GoldenEye 25 project that really started to, where I ran towards the wall, you know. Statue archives, depot, train, control. No, control, I'm not done. Caverns. I think Egyptian came before Caverns, yes. Pierce. Well, look, if you don't like Pierce Brosnan, then I think this is not the right chat for you here. Or right live stream. No, of course, all opinions are okay. So we're closing in 1 hour. I think, yeah, I think we'll get towards the end now. I'm thinking of doing a little special for you, for all of you who attended and who were nice enough to show up here. I'm inclined to play you a little bit of of the music for the elevator in Control. What would you think about that? Just a little tidbit of that, just a little excerpt, so you can get a little idea what the elevator track in Control will sound like. Bomb Bulletin, we should do a live stream together. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so slowly coming to the end. You want to hear a little bit of the Control elevator? Of course, it's not really a giveaway because you know it's going to be played over the speakers. I have not set up the things so we will hear it in good quality, but you can get an idea. Elevator. Okay, I have no idea how it will sound, but let's just try. Oh no! Wait a second. There was already the one with the applied elevator shitty Soviet speakers filter on it. Can you hear it? Okay. I think that's it. We're slowly fading out the music. Thank you very much. Sounds good. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like it. And yeah, I have recorded a video of this, and we'll release this with me playing the Hammond as soon as we hit a new milestone on social media with GoldenEye 25. So GoldenEye 25, like it on social media, comment, keep commenting, keep showing your love. We really appreciate it. Keeps us going. Keep your eyes peeled for the upcoming Apollo 11 tribute soundtrack I'm going to release soon. Also visit the Bond Bulletin on Facebook, on YouTube. And yeah, that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining in, and we'll see you in the next upcoming live stream, maybe in 2, 3, 4 weeks, whenever there's something new to talk about. Thank you very much, and have a good one. Bye-bye.